there's a certain game being played this weekend. Not the game, but it is a game in Lincoln, Nebraska, between Michigan and Nebraska. Chris, what are your thoughts on the Michigan Wolverines?
4-0. I've watched a lot of Michigan this year. Here's the problem. Really haven't played anybody, right? Eastern Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green, a couple, group of Power 5 school, or a group of 5 schools there, if you will. But they played Rutgers last week. Christian, we talked about this a little bit last week on the show. Rutgers scored right away in that game, got up 7-0 early on the Wolverines. But then Michigan did what Michigan does with their number one defense in the country. Final ended up being 31-7. So they pulled it out. And I don't think Rutgers was undefeated coming in that game, by the way. I don't think Rutgers is a bad Big Ten team this year. I don't think they're elite, but I don't think they're a bottom feeder either. Here's the big thing with Michigan. I'll give you some stats here, guys. Defensively, he's only allowing 5.8 points per game. That is number one in the nation by 3 points, actually, believe it or not. It's hard to score against Michigan. Now we can also bring in their schedule and who they played. But they're also only giving up 230 yards per game, which is very impressive to me. That's third in the country. They don't give up yards. They don't give up points. The defense of Michigan's always been pretty elite since Harbaugh's been there. Here's the big thing. They're going to be playing a team here in Nebraska who is rated in the bottom 25 as far as points per game, yards per game. This fits very well, in my opinion, for the Michigan man. It really does, coming into it in Lincoln this weekend. But I will say on the flip side, Michigan has not looked elite so far on offense. J.J. McCarthy, he is completing 80% of his passes, but he's been turnover prone as well. He's had some costly turnovers in some games where, I don't want to say costly, I guess, necessarily, but I mean, just turnovers that he shouldn't be making. This guy's been playing a lot of football. He was their starter last year. He's played enough football to not be in turnover, not turning the ball over against Rutgers. He had a couple against Bowling Green. It's not working there. I don't know what's going on with JJ. He can run the ball too, but he needs to be a little more protective of the football offensively, Christian. The big thing with Michigan, we know about the running backs, right? Edwards, Corum. These two guys are probably the two best running backs in the country on the same team. They're probably 2 first-round draft picks next year, to be completely honest with you. They got 91 carries this year for 460 yards and 8 TDs. That's 5 yards a carry, guys. That's pretty damn good in the world of college football. So my question is, can Michigan put up enough points against Nebraska defensively, who's only giving up like 18 points a game? Something's got to give in this game. Christian, I'm going to kick it over to you for my Huskers and let me know why I'm wrong.
Yeah, Chris, I mean, here's the thing. Nebraska, at some point, they need a big statement win. I mean, and who would be better to beat than the number 2 ranked Michigan Wolverines, right? I'm just gonna come right out. I'll start with the bad here first for you, Chris. Nebraska ranks 13th in the country in turnovers. 13th in the country in turnovers. So only 12 more teams in the country turn it over more than Nebraska, basically, if you don't know what that stat means. The passing offense has looked terrible, at just about every level, by the way. I mean, linemen can't hold blocks. Wide receivers can't create separation. Quarterbacks are staring down reads. It's been pretty anemic. Now, that one, I do know that word, not to use a Stephen A. Smith
I actually know what that means, too, believe it or not.
They rank 127th in passing offense, Chris. Yeah. A lot of people, they've written off Jeff Sims, and it's assumed that Heinrich Harburg is the starter. But I have a feeling we haven't seen the last of Jeff Sims yet, Chris. I have a very strong feeling that we haven't seen the last of him. Huskers' rushing offense, definitely the best part of this team, but Michigan ranks 12th in the country in rush defense, or rushing yards allowed, I should say. So if Nebraska gets in a hole early, they're going to have to throw the ball, which we'll see how that goes. Michigan's number 7 in passing yards allowed. So they're pretty good at stopping the pass as well. The point is Michigan's defense, very, very good team, right? We know that. Nebraska's defense, pretty good as well. I mean, they currently rank first in rushing defense. And they're going to need to prove it once again, as they can't let Michigan's uberly talented running backs gash them. You said it. You touched on J.J. McCarthy, right? They rank 69th, in passing offense.
Yeah.
Right? And here's the thing. Nebraska ranks 101st in the country at passing yards allowed. I mean, they just need to pray that Michigan has the worst game of their season and that the offense comes alive at home to have a shot in this one, Chris. Let me get your thoughts. We'll jump into some of the comments.
No, and before I give my prediction, you're exactly right. We talk about this Nebraska defense all the time. I'm a Nebraska man. I would love to see them compete and keep this game close. I'm worried on both sides of the ball. I'm worried that the fact that we ain't going to be able to move the ball offensively, therefore putting our defense on the field 80% of the time. And I don't care whose defense you got, whether it's the 85 Bears, the 21 fucking Georgia Bulldogs, it doesn't matter. I'm worried. Nebraska's offense is going to hurt their defense in this game. Give me Michigan 33, Nebraska 6.
You said Michigan 33, Nebraska 6?
Yes, I did.
God, son, I got Michigan 34, Nebraska 7.
Holy shit. Where's the money at? Let's go bet now. Let's go.
We covered each other there.
Wow.
For sure.